I'm just gonna wait for a few people to jump on, and then I'm also gonna take the link and throw it up on our Facebook group while we're waiting for a few people to jump on. But yeah, I wanted to jump on. We haven't been live in a couple weeks. One Sunday was the Super Bowl, and another Sunday I think I was out of town. So let me just add this link here. And I want to talk about, since we last been live, I didn't get a chance to talk to anybody about our latest video from Greystone, which we were really excited to put out there. And we also got some new information about the upcoming investigation. Hi, Christina. How's it going? Glad that you can join us. I'm just going to pop this link into our YouTube channel here. All right, I think that popped up, so hopefully we'll see here in a minute. Yeah, I hope you guys had a chance to check out the new Greystone video. If you did, let us know in the comments here. Like I said, that was one of our most active investigations we've ever done. Now that the whole video is uploaded, we're not really giving too many spoilers. It's been out for a week now. But yeah, it's the first time I personally had something move on me during an investigation, which was really awesome. So if you guys had a chance to check it out, let me know what you think. We also had a ton of activity as far as like spirit box responses, EVPs that we captured. We actually captured a live EVP. If any of you guys watched that live stream, it was kind of a longer live stream because it was like a full investigation. But let me know if you guys actually heard that during the investigation. Sorry, it's pretty windy here and this stuff's blowing over for some reason. All right, so that did upload. Awesome. Yes, I'm just going to wait for a couple more people to jump on, and then we will talk about our upcoming investigation at the Legion's Bed and Breakfast. Over the weekend, I was able to put together some information on like the origin of the hauntings and stuff like that. So that's something that we always try to do going into these locations. Some teams like to go in not knowing anything. They like to go in blind and just see what they can find. They like to just go in, collect whatever evidence or investigate however, whatever method they use, and then try to match it up once they know the history. Whereas I think our team would rather go in knowing the back history, and we use that information to try to like trigger some responses or to get more additional like information, I guess you would say, about the haunting. So if there's some names that we know, we could use them as trigger objects or trigger, I guess, terms. So that way during like EVP sessions, we can throw out some names that the spirits may be familiar with, and that might drive the conversation. So I know a lot of times the way that I personally investigate and how other people investigate is we try to communicate with the spirits as if they're still here, as if they're a living person. And that actually elicits a lot more responses than people may think it may. So I'm actually just jumped on here. I want to make sure I don't miss them. So, hi, Hedda. I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. Hedda. Glad that you could join us on the live stream. Like I said, this is something that we want to try to get going a little bit. I think I've done like 2 live streams, maybe 3. It's something that I'm going to try to do every Sunday at the same time, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, just so that way it's, a routine as far as like you guys know, we're going to be talking about our latest video on this day. We're going to talk about any upcoming investigations on this day. So that way it's kind of a set time where we just kind of talk about anything related to the channel or anything related paranormal. I mean, if you guys ever have any experiences, any questions, I mean, this is just kind of like a forum where we can just talk about anything paranormal. So that's why I like to jump on here. So before I go into more about like the allegiance and stuff like that, I'm just going to go over, we do have a public event coming up Saturday, April 2nd. So as of right now, that's all booked. We're just waiting on everybody for payment. So we required a $25 deposit. It's a $25 fee due day of, so it's a $50 investigation. But everybody, it was first come, first serve. So whoever showed interest first, that's who we put down on the list. And then I'm giving them a couple weeks to come up with a deposit. And then if I don't hear from people, then we may reopen some spots depending on availability. But as of right now, we had the 12 spots full. So, and we're also keeping it down. We're keeping it low to 12 spots. I mean, I'm not sure if anyone here has went on a public investigation with any other team or with any other service that does it, like Ghost Hunts USA or any other Haunted Nights, I think is maybe another one. I'm not quite sure. I personally haven't been on a public investigation. We just strictly do private. They're not bad. It's just we really want to keep it personal, so that's why we limit it to 12 people, so that way we can split up into smaller, more manageable groups. Because the only drawback with a public investigation is that you don't know everybody who's going on that investigation. So some people may not take it as serious as others. Some people may actually be disrespectful and like yell and be loud during sessions and during times where you're trying to be quiet and listen or try to collect EVPs or whatever it may be. So we feel like by keeping it small like this, we're going to be able to guarantee everybody's going to have some sort of like we're not going to guarantee a paranormal experience, but we're going to guarantee like the experience that you're going to have investigating is going to be, what we try to strive for on our own personal investigation. So that way, I think the more organized you are during an investigation, the more people actually take it seriously, the more chances are you're going to find something. So I think that's the whole reason why people try to investigate is to find something. So that's the whole point of doing it. So, that's why we're striving to, make it manageable with smaller numbers. So we also have upcoming the Shanley. So 25 S. Davis. How's it going? Thank you for tuning in. So, so the Shanley's coming up in May 14th. So again, I'm just kind of running down on the upcoming events that we have coming up. So we have the Allegiance March 12th. We have the Public Chase Manor April 2nd. Then we have the Shanley the Shanley on May 14th. So, and then Post Town Elementary, I have a board over here. That's what I'm looking at. We have the Post Town Elementary on July 1st. So we have, up through like midsummer books. So that's something that we're really trying to go live on each one of these investigations at least once. So let us know in the comments or let us know, once we post it. So what I try to do is like a live walkthrough, so that way you guys can see it as we're walking through it, as we're, arriving there as well. And then we try to do at least live once throughout the night, where we can do a quick like spirit box session, or I even throw some EVP sessions in there too, so that way we can show you guys live capturing an EVP, because I think that's pretty cool, where you guys, like for instance, you guys see me turn on the recorder, you see me conduct the session, turn it off, and then all the information or all the EVP sessions right on there, and then you guys see it live playback, and then you guys can hear the voice. So like I said, we actually did that at Greystone Manor, which was pretty cool. And then I think 3 or 4 people were watching at that particular time, and they said they could actually hear the whisper. So today I pretty much just wanted to talk about the Allegiance, because I did get some information about the Allegiance bed and breakfast. So I wanted to go over that. So the Allegiance bed and breakfast was built in 1838. It's actually in Mount Morris, New York. It's in Western New York. So the name of it, Allegiance, comes from Francis Bellamy. He actually wrote the Pledge of Allegiance. So, I mean, this place, obviously, right there, huge part of American history. Mount Morris is where Francis Bellamy grew up, and that's what the mansion, which is now a bed and breakfast, is named after, is Francis Bellamy. So I couldn't find a ton of information in my preliminary research. I mean, we still have a couple weeks out, so I'm going to keep digging. Um, but from what I gather, been at least three families that have lived there. I'm imagining being built in 1838. It's almost, it's pretty old. So I would imagine there was more families. I just couldn't find them. The first family was the Wisner family, and the second family was the Prophet family. And the owners now are Steve and Glenda. Glenda's actually who I spoke to when I booked it. So I'm kind of interested to see if there's been more families, because typically the more families that are in a mansion or manor or housing location, you typically see those buildings as being more haunted if they're used as like a boarding home or a motel, restaurant, or something like that, where there's a lot of people in and out. But when there's homes that only have a few families, that could also be true for hauntings. Like in Greystone Manor, there's only been four families that lived there, and that was built in the mid 1800s. I think they thought it was 1865, but then they found documentation that actually dates it older, like pre-Civil War, to like the 1850s, I believe. And that's another thing too, is if one family lived in, or one generation of a family lived in a home for, let's say, 30, 40 years, and then their second generation, but the same family, lived in that same home. I mean, like as in Greystone Manor, one family lived there for nearly 90 years. So that could be something. Question: are spirits able to choose? Sorry, I missed that. Do they choose where they haunt, or are they stuck to a specific place? It's actually a very good question. That's something that a lot of investigators kind of debate. Um, a lot of like the psychic mediums that we speak to and that we deal with, because I kind of ask them the same questions because they're more in tune with like the spirit world. So some of them say that no spirit is actually stuck. They say that spirits are able to come and go as they please, like through like different portals through like the spirit realm. But then there's others who believe that the spirits are actually stuck as like a residual energy. So I think the first question you have to answer is whether the haunting is a active, intelligent haunting, or if it's a residual haunting. So sometimes hauntings may be just like echoes of the past, maybe energy that's like trapped in the building or trapped at a specific location or trapped in a specific object that holds that energy. And that's why, for instance, sometimes hauntings say you hear footsteps in the hallway at 5 a.m. every morning. That could just be that was that particular person's routine while they were alive, and that just created such a physical imprint, or like energetic imprint, I guess you would call it, where that continues to happen after their passing. So that's where that's where the paranormal community and science community kind of mesh a little bit, where a lot of paranormal community believe in what the scientific community would call pseudoscience, whereas a lot of paranormal investigators believe that it's simply like physics that our science doesn't understand yet, because there's some scientists who say, oh, there's no such thing as ghosts or spirits and what have you, whereas there's other scientists that are studying like the realm of physics, and they'll tell you that we don't understand nearly half of what we think we do. So I actually, Chase Manor, when we spoke to Lorna, she's like, yeah, the spirits, they can come and go. Like, they know what they're doing. They know, what they're able to do. And they know if they're, they can leave at any time. They just choose not to. So I think it all depends on who you talk to, which opinion you get. I don't think we're ever going to really know 100% until we are, part of that realm or part of that dimension. So the first family that lived in the Legion's bed and breakfast was the Wisner family, and they actually supported the Union during the Civil War. So those of you familiar with the Civil War, there was the Union side and the Confederate side, and they were fighting. So up north, a lot of the houses up north were actually used as like the last stop of the Underground Railroad. And that's why Chase Manor is believed to be haunted. That's why the Star Clark Tin Shop that we investigated, that was a stop on the Underground Railroad. Um, and this Allegiance Bed and Breakfast was also believed to be like one of the last stops before heading north to Canada. So he was a supporter of the abolitionist movement, and he supported the Union Army. So I'm not sure as far as like the house or the man. I don't know if you'd call it a manor or a mansion, probably a mansion. Um, I'm not sure if it has any ties to the actual Civil War. I'm not sure if like soldiers were ever stationed there or housed there. That's something that I'm going to dig more into. And then the second family was called the Prophet family. I couldn't really get too much information on like what they did or like what they owned or like what type of field they were in. I just got the name Prophet family, and I just saw that they're the ones who built the four distinguished pillars that you see if you actually Google the bed and breakfast, or the four pillars in the front. Um, so the known spirits that are known to haunt there are said to be probably three or four that I could come up with. So Karen is known as the female spirit there, and she was a granddaughter of the original owner, Reuben Wisner. So I'm not sure why she would still be there. I'm not sure how she died. I just know through initial research that Karen is a name that people come up with, and Karen is a spirit who they feel like is there. Um, and like I said, this is more information that I'm going to dig into to try to find out, the genesis of the hauntings. And, if we go in there and we have names that we can use, like, hi, Karen, we want to communicate with you. We want to, find out why you're still here. Maybe just us using their name and just trying to communicate on that level would help. And then there's also a man known as Raymond. And the only information I got from Raymond is A, he doesn't like to be called Ray, and B, he was a friend of Karen. So I'm not sure if he was like a boyfriend or close friend. I'm not quite sure, but it's funny that we get the name Raymond because it seems like a lot of the paranormal locations you go to, there's always seems to be a Raymond for some reason. Um, there was supposed to be a Raymond at Hillview Manor, and then there's a Ray, I believe, at Rolling Hills Asylum. So this would be our third location where the name Ray or Raymond would be like a trigger. So let me just check something right here. All right, gotcha. So, Reuben's wife. So again, Reuben is Reuben Wisner. He was like the original owner. His wife Sarah passed on, and he married a woman named Ellen. So Sarah supposedly got upset that Reuben moved on. So that's another story. I'm not sure. Like I said, I don't know how much is a rumor, how much is a folklore. I mean, anytime you have like a haunted mansion, um, you know, the community starts to build up like stories of the mansion of why it's haunted. So I'm not sure if this is any truth to it, but we'll know more too as we get there and we speak to the owners and stuff like that. So that's a large part of our investigation too, is we'll speak directly to the owners of these properties and get, a good feel for, what they believe is true, what they believe is fiction. So that's actually something that we did when we went to the Conjuring House, because obviously the Conjuring House is widely known as like the most haunted house in the world. And the owners flat out said, okay, this is what the stories are. This is what we could actually legitimize, and stores that we can actually verify. And, the truth is, usually far and in between, what you hear versus what it actually is. There's also said to be a teenage girl, like a servant girl, that is seen. So, like I said, it was built in 1838. So they say teenage girl in servant clothes. So I'm not sure if she was like a nanny, if she was like a housemaid, and we're not sure why she's there. And the name Alice Montclair comes up. That's the only information I got with that. Is I'm not sure if that's even the teenage girl's name or if that's a separate girl. And what's also interesting is that they say that there's phantom cats and dogs at this location, which is pretty cool because I know my wife personally experienced like a ghost cat at Fort Ontario, and I actually tripped over what I felt like was a dog at Greystone Manor. I was walking in like the parlor room, and I stopped because I felt something like at my feet. I felt like I was about to trip over a dog, and then I looked down. There's nothing there, and I felt like I was like brushing up against a dog, which was kind of weird. So, but Sammy the cat is actually one of the pets from the bed and breakfast itself. Like that was like a family pet, I believe, and they're actually buried on the property. So they say that Sammy the cat is there too. So I guess we're gonna find out once we get there. So, but it's funny because a lot of people ask, can pets like can dogs and cats be spirits? Can you see them in ghost form? So I mean, I don't see why not. I don't think there's anything that necessarily says that animals um, can't be spirits. So, um, I think like Latin animalia is actually Latin for spirit. So the term animal in English is actually Latin for spirit. So, and you would think that it would be able to be in a spirit form too. So, I think anything with like any form of consciousness would be able to. Anything that has energy would be able to manifest itself as a spirit if if the conditions were right. So, but yeah, that's the quick rundown of the Legion's Bed and Breakfast information. We are joining up with another group out of like Eastern New York, Beyond the Grave Investigations. So we're excited to meet up with them. They do some great stuff. If you check out their Facebook page, they have some of their videos up there. They have some live sessions on there that they've done. So we're really excited to, do some more collaborations with some other groups and teams. We just finished up a collaboration at Greystone for those of you guys that watched it with Chizza Chad. We've collaborated with Brother Frank TV quite a bit. So, a lot of these investigations, we're trying to reach out and investigate with as many different people as we're able to. So that way you guys can see, different methods of investigation, different like takes on the hauntings and videos. Because what's cool is that when you watch two different people, like they're two different channels take on the same location, they're not going to be the same. So it's interesting to watch and see what one group finds and one group investigates versus the other group, because it's totally different. No matter, even if you guys investigate on the same day, same time, it's going to be a different experience. So it's pretty cool to see. So there was another I can't remember what location it was, but like I said before, we are trying to do more public investigations, so that way we can open it up. Oh, I remember what it was. I talked to Sheila. She actually is like the contact like manager for Casey's Cottage, Star Clark Tin Shop, and when we first talked to her, she said she's open to us doing some public investigations. Having it's more local as well, where that's within like a 30-minute, 40-minute drive. So we are looking to do some more public investigations this summer as well. So make sure you guys are checking the Facebook page. That's primarily where I'm going to be posting and uploading everything, as far as like any announcements for public investigations. So like I said, we're still like finalizing the Chase public investigation with everybody who's reached out, everybody who has shown interest. So that's something that we're really looking forward to. And Chase Manor is one where we would love to go back as many times as they would allow us to be back, because that's a pretty cool location. And when I talked to Sheila last time we were doing some investigations, they're doing a whole bunch of stuff in Mexico as far as like new buildings that they're opening up that have a lot of history, that are reported to be haunted and stuff like that. So like I said, that's in Mexico, New York. That's relatively close to where just keep an eye out if you guys want to potentially join up on an investigation. They're a blast. They're relatively local, where they're easy to get to, and they're relatively cheap as far as like the cost per person. They run from $25 to $50 a person, which is pretty manageable for what you're going to get out of it. So yeah, that's pretty much all that I want to touch base on. I mean, I hope you guys continue to tune in to these live streams. I mean, the more that we get people involved, the more that people jump on, it will be more interaction, where instead of me just talking, we can hear from you guys a little bit more. I mean, that's the whole goal of going live, is so that way we can interact and talk a little bit more about like what you guys want to see, what you guys want us to do. All right, so yeah, so that's Celine. All right, Celine. So I don't know what she wants to show me, but probably something haunted upstairs in my house. So yeah, guys, so thanks for tuning in. Like I said, every Sunday at 5 p.m. we are going to it was that me. Yeah, Celine, I appreciate you jumping on. I hope you're enjoying the videos. Let me know what you guys thought of Greystone Manor when you watch it. Like I said, that was the first time that I actually saw like something move in front of me. That was from like an unseen force, so that was pretty cool. So yeah, guys. So 5 p.m. every Sunday, as long as I can make it on here. I'm gonna start having like other members of the team jump on, and we can kind of talk about personal experiences. Because what happens is when we do an investigation, a lot of times I'll go off with one group, and then like Brad, Christy, Jess, Alyssa, Dan, whoever's with us, Amanda, they go off in separate groups and we rotate through. So, like I said before, we experience different things at different times. So, a lot of times it's not until we actually sit down and talk about it where we realize, hey, this happened to us. Like, yes, I have all the video and evidence, but sometimes, until you do like a debriefing session, you don't know exactly what everybody experienced. So, that's another thing that we're going to try to do live is after investigation, we'll jump right on here and talk about our experiences, and anyone who watched the live stream, jump on, talk about if you guys seen or heard anything during the investigations. We actually had someone jump on and comment on one of our videos that they heard an EVP. So again, if you guys are watching just the standard videos that we put up, if you hear an EVP or if you see something that we missed, just shoot a quick comment. We'd love to see that stuff. So we appreciate it. So thanks for tuning in, guys. Next Sunday, same time, 5 p.m. Hope to see you guys here, and we will keep continuing to chat about the paranormal investigations and how we can get you guys more involved. Thanks.